How did the use of letters make mathematics easier for us? Did people use mathematics even before civilization began? People counted fruit and estimated the distance to their prey, but they did not realize that this was mathematical thinking. Mathematical thinking means expressing what we think in mathematical ways, and over time, these ideas came together to form mathematics. Then, when can we say mathematics truly began? Mathematics does not simply begin with calculation. It begins when we express what we think. People began to use symbols and letters to record and share what they saw, felt, and imagined. However, simply counting animals or adding the number of fruits is called arithmetic, not mathematics. Arithmetic deals with specific calculations. For example, we find results directly using numbers such as 2 plus 7 or 15 plus 57. Mathematics, on the other hand, focuses more on understanding and explaining the general rules behind those results. For example, if we call two numbers a and b, then a plus b and b plus a are always the same. Mathematics deals with rules that apply to every case, not just specific numbers. The key element that created this difference is the use of letters. When we use letters, one rule can apply to many different situations. In other words, depending on what values we substitute into the letters, a single expression can explain many different phenomena. For example, we can think about the expression y equals ax. Here, a is a fixed value, and the value of y changes depending on x. If a represents speed and x represents time, then y becomes the distance traveled. On the other hand, if a represents mass and x represents acceleration, then y becomes the force acting on an object. It is the same expression, but it can explain many different phenomena depending on what we substitute. By using letters, mathematics expanded beyond visible and concrete calculations. It became a field that studies shared principles and rules that we cannot see directly. In other words, mathematics draws out common properties and patterns from specific objects and represents them with symbols and concepts. That is why Carl Friedrich Gauss described mathematics as the queen of the sciences. Using letters is not only practical, it also helps us analyze ideas and see relationships immediately. It makes complicated thinking much simpler as well. For example, when we add several numbers, the result stays the same even if we change the order. This property is called the commutative law. If we did not know this rule, we would always have to calculate step by step from the beginning, and we would also have to check again whether changing the order still gives the correct result. However, once we know the rule expressed with letters, we can handle this process much more easily. Mathematical expressions may look simple, but they contain condensed ideas and relationships. Mathematical symbols clearly show concepts that are difficult to explain with words and help us follow complex thinking. In mathematics, letters also have roles. Letters such as A, B, and C are often used as constants that represent values that do not change, while letters such as X, Y, and Z represent variables whose values can change. These conventions may seem small, but they help us quickly understand what an expression means and what features it has simply by looking at it. In the end, the use of letters completely changed mathematics. It moved us beyond arithmetic that only handles numbers and opened a new world of mathematics that explores rules and structures. Letters are not just symbols. They are essential tools of mathematics that help us express ideas, organize our thinking, and make complex problems simpler.